My name is Lisa Brown, and I am the founder and CEO of Studio 951. I have been a corporate baby for about 20 plus years, and I've worked for some Fortune 500 and Fortune 1000 companies, and I've done all the spectrum of digital marketing. I kind of felt like when I was in the corporate world that I don't know, I just didn't fit in, I just felt like I was the square peg being put in the round hole. But I still kept trying to move up the ladder, make connections, network, until one thing happened to make me move into entrepreneurship, which was my mother getting sick. And I had to make a decision. It was either take care of my mother or keep grinding and trying to move up the corporate ladder. I chose to take care of my mother. But that put me in a position to figure out why I felt so uncomfortable in one place and felt comfortable in a place of unknowns and being an entrepreneur. I didn't know what I was going to be doing. I did not have a plan. I just jumped and I built my way up. People ask me that all the time. Studio 951, funny story. I was working on a project for one of my family members, and they were saying, you're really good at this. You should come up with a name for your company. And I sat, and this was pre-AI. So I sat and I brainstormed trying to figure out what should I call it? What should I call it? So I was like, okay, my house, all right, studio, all right. My address, Studio 951. So that's how I came up with the name. That was the intention. I felt like my home was the studio, and I used my home address number, and I put it together, and hence Studio 951 was born. I had Side Hustle Saturday before I had Studio 951 because I love the stories of entrepreneurship. And actually, Side Hustle Saturday was the trajectory to push me in to be an entrepreneur for Studio 951. That helped gave me the push because I always admire people that could take that leap and have their own business and do what they want to do and have that freedom. So I kind of melded the two together. So I talked to entrepreneurs about entrepreneurship, building the ecosystem, as well as me taking the journey myself and me taking the leap and doing it on my own. So that's how they're the two sides of the same coin, because me talking to people as well as me start my journey as well. When I mentor my clients, I feel like they're my babies. And I always feel like Studio 951 is a home for, how a mother has, a bird lays an egg, or they have chicks or whatever, and those eggs hatch, and then the birds fly out the nest and they fly. That's how I feel with Studio 951. If y'all don't win, I don't win. I don't gatekeep. I want to make sure that when I do my marketing strategy or my business strategy, that it's going to benefit you to grow your ecosystem. I am a big proponent on that. And so I give tips to help my entrepreneurs, the people that are my clients, to grow and excel, and things that I'm going to push you. It's going to be out your comfort zone, but I know that you can do it. So they're my little baby birds, and I'm the mama bird, and I like to mentor. I feel like that's my comfort zone, and that's my jam. That's my peanut butter to my jelly. I love to mentor people and see them succeed. Studio 951 is a digital marketing agency, and we do things such as marketing strategy, website design and development. We do email marketing, we do social media, anything that has to do with digital marketing, we do as an agency. We're like your one-stop shop. We're also delving into the realms of video, podcasting, and some photography as well that I'm bringing onto the studio. I think it's a value decision, and I felt like I had a little bit of imposter syndrome, just to be transparent, when I started, because I kind of felt like, well, who am I to be out here to try to talk to entrepreneurs about small business when I'm just starting to get my feet wet. So I kind of felt like I could relate better to solopreneurs and small startups, because I felt like we were all in the same boat before I jumped into the waters of the corporate world. Now that I've been doing it, because I've been in business for about 4.5 years now. So now that I have been doing it for about 4.5 years, now I'm ready to kind of like expand and kind of like take the leap. I don't know if I so much want to go into the corporate. I would rather work with startups and mid-sized companies that are ready to take the leap into the next level instead of a corporation right now that is already set and kind of like already in their grind and ready and already in that level. Looking for people that are ready to make the move, or companies that are ready to make the move and take those chances and make those changes. That their business is their only thing that they have to grow. I'm of the mindset, and this is what my foundation is and what I'm standing on. Your business is the foundation. That's just a starting point. Now it's time to build the ecosystem. And so they don't think outside the box of, all right, I got the service or product. What else can I do to bring in the other streams of income to help my business grow? So a lot of them have that misconception when I talk to them that that's all they have is their business, but they don't have all the other entities to grow the business. I feel like minorities. I feel like when we look at entrepreneurs, we don't see enough of our brown, yellow, black, Latino, all the nationalities. I don't think we see enough of those stories. And I don't see the stories. We see, like, I started here, I'm successful. I want to see the middle. And I don't think we see enough of those stories. Like, hey, there were some days where I was eating ramen noodles for weeks, or I had to scrape money together to pay my bills, but I still kept going because I understood my why. And I think those stories are the ones that people will appreciate, and those are the ones that are the stories that need to be told. And that's why I have my platform for Studio 951, because we want to hear the real stories. What did it take for you to really get to where you're at today? I am in the middle of that transition because you're right. Doing the work, I call it being in the weeds instead of being the CEO of the company. I'm in the middle. I'm trying to take things off my plate, and I'm in the middle of my ecosystem build. What else am I going to do to build my ecosystem? So right now, I want to lead. I want to have other people do it, but that's hard because you want to bring on good people to do the work, and you want to be able to trust them to do the work. And my philosophy is you got to be just as motivated as I am to want to be successful and to have the company grow. I can get anybody to come in and do the work. But if you're not motivated and you don't have that drive, what's the point? I might as well do it myself. But you have to have that same drive, that same capability, and that same, this is my why, that I do in order to make this ecosystem grow. The version was that she felt like she didn't belong. She felt like she wanted to feel like she wanted to belong somewhere. I wanted to feel like I was in alignment, and I felt like I was out of sync. And so that was my why. I wanted to be aligned, and I wanted some freedom. That was the biggest part. And I know when I talk or when I teach, and when I ask people, what is your why? Why are you doing this? I get a deer in headlights look because they don't know. So for me, it was, I needed to feel alignment. And then when I did that, and it was a scary move for me to leave my job and jump into this entrepreneurship road with no plan. I thought I had a plan, but I said, I'm just going to be messy and I'm going to do it. But I did it. Now, I wouldn't suggest to people to do the way I did it, but that's why I did. I wanted to feel alignment, but I felt aligned when I did it that way, which is weird. I felt like that felt right for me. And here I am today. Yeah, a funny story. All I knew was going to work for somebody. And that's all I knew. my whole, because that's what we're taught. That's what's ingrained in us. You go to college, you go to work, get married, da 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 da. When I left to start my business, I was like, if it doesn't work in 6 months, I'm gonna go back to work. I still felt that way. Even though I wanted to be an entrepreneur, I felt like I had PTSD because all I knew was to go look for a job to work for somebody else because I've done it for so long. I didn't know no other way. But what kept me going was I don't know if I want to go back to work for somebody else. But that's all I knew was to get on the job sites, put out a resume. That was ingrained in me. So that was kind of a hard thing to break. And to be honest, it took me a while. It took me a couple of years to kind of break that cycle of not doing that and not always looking for a job and working for somebody and just stay the course. I don't like to follow the crowd, and I've always been that way. I feel like I'll do my own lane, and I know that's kind of like defiant, but I wouldn't be the person I am today if I wasn't like that. I'm not a clout chaser. I'm not a crowd chaser. And if you tell me no, I'm going to figure it out on my own and do it myself. I would tell them to get on LinkedIn. Get on LinkedIn, set up your profile, make sure you are clear on what you do, start making those digital connections. I tell them to go to networking events because all that stuff is free. You can go to free networking events. LinkedIn is, well, you could do the free version. I would tell them to build an Instagram, that's free. And depending on what their product or service is, I would tell them to get on YouTube and I would tell them to get on TikTok because all those things are free to promote, to talk about, to educate what they offer on their product or service. I think what's happening right now is Columbus is being recognized as one of the small business capitals. It's been like that, but the growth of different small businesses that are coming and relocating here. If you read the business periodicals, businesses are coming here all the time. We are like the hot spot for testing restaurants, small businesses, corporations. This is where it's at. And that's what's getting me excited about Columbus. We're no longer the cow town. This is the town where we're starting to get more tech here, more housing here. We were, the fashion capital here. We have major fashion corporations here. This is the place to be when it comes to starting a small business. That she pushed me and made me do it. She made me step outside of my comfort zone. And if it wouldn't have been for that, I wouldn't be here today. Start with a plan. Start with a plan and be persistent and be vigilant and move with intention. You have to be intentional about who you network with, who you want your product and service to go to. You just can't throw spaghetti at the wall. Whatever move you make, who you talk to, how you want to grow your business has to be all done with intention and purpose. I've been looking at media and entertainment. I've been really looking into that. So I'm evolving my brand from a digital marketing to maybe more of a media company. And so I've been testing some waters, doing some research, but I would really like to be in the media and filming industry. AI video. I'm going to figure out a way, or I've been looking at how AI and video are mainstream into this industry, video industry. And it's ramping up so quickly. A lot of companies can't, it's just something that's new that a lot of companies or video companies don't do it now. Don't come after me because I know when it comes to photography and videography, those are pure. They want to keep those as pure as possible. And there's a lot of talk about using AI in photography and video. And I respect that. I'm just talking about using the technology to help put videos together tweaking some things. How can AI fit into all of that? And as my company, how can I offer that service, or look at some media companies, how can I get them streamlined to kind of use that service? You can find me if you want to talk to me, if you want a marketing consultation. You can find me at info@studio-951.com. You can follow me on Instagram at studio951. You can also, don't forget my podcast. You can follow me on YouTube at Side Hustle Saturday. And you can, I'm also at Studio 951 Columbus, I'm sorry, on Instagram, and Side Hustle Saturday on Instagram as well. And my website is Side Hustle Saturday. I have a Side Hustle Saturday website as well, which is sidehustlesaturday.co and studio-951.com.